You, me, some are fancy on the outside. Some are fancy on the inside. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Boys are boys from the beginning. Girls are girls right from the start. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Only girls can be the mummies. Only boys can grow up and be the daddies. Yes, sir. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine.
After observing the climate around the sexualization of our children today, it prompted me to ask the question as to why and why now. And, when I was a young child growing up, I would say the 60s, 70s, 80s, I wasn't exposed to none of the things in which our children are exposed to today. And especially there was no choice as to whether or not, or discussion as to whether or not I was a male or female, nor was I concerned whether or not I was a boy or girl. I knew who I was. I'm a male, I'm a man, I'm a boy, if you want to use that terminology, but I'm absolutely, I can say this, that I'm grateful that I was raised up when I was, because other than that, I guess I'd be cuckoo today. Now, when I was growing up, though, as a child, the only thing that was on my mind was probably shooting marbles, riding bicycles, playing hide and seek, playing cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians, those kind of things like that. But never sexualization or anything that had to do with sex. We were not exposed to that. We had other things that we kept our minds occupied, things that I would consider to be rather innocent. Okay, but to deal with, if I don't know, let me say it this way: if my children had to deal with this indoctrination of sexuality today, I would absolutely just hit the fan, to tell you the truth. I would have some issues to say, and therefore I'm saying it now, because not only am I speaking up for my own children, because I'm not concerned about my children, because my grandchildren, shall I say, because my children, they are definitely parents who are involved in the lives of their children. But I was doing some research for a particular video that I wanted to record, and I was absolutely shocked that when I came across this particular video, and I can tell you the truth, man, when I saw it, and it was a video that was done by Insider. I'm not going to play the entire video. If you want to see the video, I would definitely put the link in the description of this particular video. But it showed to me that I was living, I guess you could say, I was living under a rock, because I did not know that sexuality, as far as when it comes to television and movies and what have you, and cartoons in particular, that they were involved or engaged in it for so long. I'm gonna play a video here, and then we're gonna talk about it a little bit.
In 2018, popular animated series Steven Universe featured the first LGBTQ wedding shown in a kids' animated TV show. You heard that correctly. The year was 2018, and kids were finally able to see a visual representation of a queer cartoon couple getting married on their screens. The creator of the show, Rebecca Sugar, identifies as bisexual, non-binary, and genderqueer, so it isn't surprising the show included this groundbreaking achievement in LGBTQ history. But according to Sugar, it took years of painstaking work chipping away at the network to get to that moment. The history of queerness in animation has been decades of harmful stereotyping, queer baiting, queer coding, and straight-up misrepresentation. If queer writers, actors, animators, and viewers have existed since the inception of televised cartoons, we just have to ask, why did it take so long to get here? We're taking a look back over the last 90 years, from the Hays Code to SpongeBob SquarePants, to see how queerness in animation and its critical reception has evolved over the years.
Let me show you something else that I came across. This is what got me. The Insider, they did a survey and they made this point. They pointed this out. The Insider did the survey and they pointed this out. And I was shocked when I saw this, that there are 259 LGBTQ characters in cartoons that, listen what it says now, bust the myth that kids can't handle inclusion. I never heard of that before, but it doesn't make it right. Then, of course, they got all the cartoon characters here, who they are, what are these cis men, women, bisexual, trans, this, that, there, and the other. I was absolutely shocked. Let me see if I can pull up the cartoons here. And these are all the cartoons that are on cable TV, I believe, today. Yeah, listen, y'all go check that out. I don't want to be long too much time on this here. Let me tell you, when I saw this, I was like, there is no way that, and I'm grateful today that me personally, don't have children that are of age that can be exposed to this, because they would not be watching cartoons. None at all. But I'm also grateful that I have grandchildren. I'm not concerned about them being exposed to it as well, because their parents are going to make sure that they're not, because they are definitely involved in the lives of children. But the lesson here that need to be learned, parents, you cannot let television raise your child. You cannot allow the content in which is on those tablets, those iPads and tablets that we have a tendency to want to hand to our children, give to our children, for them to keep them company and to keep them quiet or to keep them busy, or even whatever is on our phones. No, you can't do that. You need to monitor what your children are exposed to. Please monitor what your children are exposed to. I'm gonna play this clip from I started with Mr. Rogers. I want to end with Mr. Rogers. Please listen to what he has to say.
It's those of us who are the producers and purveyors of television are servants of the people. And if those who sponsor programs and those who sit on boards of directors of places that own networks, if they would simply watch what's on a lot of their air and say to themselves, do I want my family watching this? I think that the climate would change, and the landscape of television could be what it's meant to be, and that is a landscape of nourishment for the human family.
If you enjoy what we do here on this channel on Father's Note, we would ask that you would subscribe, like, comment, and share. Until then, thank you. We'll see you in the next video.